Hey future millionaires, this is Phil from the Next Chapter team, and in this video we're going to go over 5 things that you might be doing that could be killing your early retirement dreams. So please like, subscribe, and share, and stay tuned for this great article recap of 5 things that could be hurting your retirement dreams. So the first thing that the article brings up is when you're not taking advantage of the employer 401k. Why is this so important? Because a 401k is an employer-sponsored retirement plan. And how it basically works is the 401k allows you to defer a portion of your pay, whether it be pre-tax or post-tax, so after tax, into a retirement account. That retirement account is then invested in either mutual funds or ETFs that you select, and then it grows over time. But employers normally offer a match. So one employer could have a match of like 50% of the first 6%, so meaning 3%, or sometimes it's just dollar for dollar up to 3 or 5%. So again, taking advantage of that match. So you could have that match could really help you grow over time. And at the end, we're actually going to go through this. I'm going to show the quick example of someone who's 30 versus someone who's 35 with the same exact pay, who are both contributing, but one works 5 years later to make their contributions, and you're going to see a stark difference in their balances. And so again, it is really important to take advantage of employer 401k, especially when there's a match opportunity, because that match opportunity is actually free money. So it's 100% return because you got the money for free from the company. But what is really important is when you have investment opportunities, that contribution match can also grow on your behalf, and that'll really help your balance grow over time. And you'll see the difference at the end. Like I said, I thought it would be a good idea to kind of really hit that topic home by giving you an example, and I'm going to walk through that on Excel. The next item up, number 2, thing that could be hurting your retirement dreams is accruing credit card interest. Now you think about it this way. Interest on a credit card, revolving line of credit, usually is very high. So that can be somewhere between 19 and up to 29%, just depending on the state and what the state allows. But again, that interest is interest that's on a debt, and it snowballs, and it just keeps growing and growing over time. Because if you let the balance carry month over month, that interest keeps growing month over month. And frankly, I got to be honest with you, the best thing you could do here is to create a budget that allows you to pay off that debt as quickly as possible and then stay out of debt. That's a lot of what we do when we do coaching with people one-on-one, is helping them figure out a way to get out of that debt, pay it off, and then stay out of it, putting the right habits in place so they stay out of that debt. And they can put that money towards more important places. Like what? That 401k we just talked about. The number 3 thing that this article brings up is not asking for a raise when you do one. If you haven't had a raise in a while, and your job should be helping you try to keep up to pace with inflation. Now, when you ask for a raise, you should bring evidence that you're doing the right things in your job, you're performing well, you're taking on additional tasks, and also do some market research to be sure that you're getting paid a fair rate for your role. And if that doesn't work, you should really consider putting yourself on a path to getting a promotion internally, or maybe even leaving said company to go to another company that'll help you get that raise that you're looking for, that you have earned and that you've skilled up to earn. So it's not just giving you money for the sake of giving you money. It's because it's just you want to stay in pace with the market, or be trying to keep upping your skills, so upping your pay. And then when you up your pay, we would coach you to upping and increasing your 401k contributions as well. The 4th item that this article highlights is eating out too frequently. Why is that? Because restaurants can be more expensive than cooking at home. Now, while it may be convenient and good for socializing and entertaining, if you're doing it too frequently, you're really chipping away at your budget, that you could be utilizing that money to be either paying off a debt, increasing your retirement, or even paying off a home, or saving for a home, or saving up for a big purchase. So what we tell people a lot when we're coaching them one-on-one is you got to work to find that balance. Figure out how many times a week you want to go out to eat, and budget for it, budget accordingly. And then also, quick tip, meal plan. Meal plan on the weekends. Do a lot of pre-cooking if you can on the weekends, or pre-cook for 2 or 3 days. That way, if you pre-cook for 3 days, then you're only leaving yourself exposed for Thursdays and Fridays, assuming you work a 5-day work week. Okay, so again, eating out too frequently can be a real budget killer, which was stopping you from saving excess money to pay off debts, or even save more for retirement and or saving up for big purchases. So I think this is a great highlight that we should all be striving towards. The fifth item, rounding out this article review, is not having an emergency fund. An emergency fund, I'm going to tell you right now, is paramount. It is huge to have an emergency fund while you're working to pay off debts, as well as when you're trying to save for big purchases. And then finally, of course, when you're saving for retirement. A great place, first off, to put these emergency funds is like a high yield savings account where it's going to accrue more interest. And then a great rule of thumb is early on in your financial journey, at least 1 month or $1,000, and then maybe even 1 month, depending on your financial situation. A lot of times I tell people with kids, it may be best to play it safe to have close to 1 month while you're in your debt payoff journey, just because things can come up, medical copays, car repairs, whatever. So having that emergency fund really helps when you're early on in your financial journey. And then again, further on in your financial journey, grow that emergency fund 3 to 6 months. And for you people that have very variable salaries, where you're highly commission based, and you know there's a period of time in the year when you're going to have a slowdown because sales cycle is just kind of slow, we highly advise walking into that slowdown period with a good game plan of exactly how much you need and that emergency fund right in place. So then you don't fall temptation to go further in debt during that slowdown of your income. Next, we're going to take it to the spreadsheet so I can show you that 401k example that we were talking about earlier on. Okay, jumping into it. For our example, we're going to use a person that first person is 35 years old and they make about $75,000, and they are contributing 6% of their pay with a 3% match, and they're going to do that for 5 years. And we're going to assume, just to make this real simple, that it's 7%, whether it be 5-year or 10-year rate of return. So now, this person that is contributed for 5 years would have a total balance of about $41,500. And we're going to walk through how that's broken down. Okay, so first, you're going to see that their total contribution, they contributed about $22,500. The growth on that was about $5,000, and their employer match was of roughly $11,250. And then growth on that was $2,500, and that, combine that all, you make it to $41,000. And you can see the difference again. So what I did here is total contributions is $33,000. That's combined of the employee and the employer. And then growth on top of that makes the balance of $41,500. And that's a 5-year span. Now, what happens when we do that? Change it up, and we're going to have a person who started at 30. Okay, so again, this person started at 30. They contributed 6% on $75,000, and then they had a 3% match. But this time around, they were able to contribute for a solid 10 years straight, and the balance ends up being closer to $99,000. So we'll just call it 100 for rounding purposes. Total employee contribution, $45,000. Growth on that contribution, $21,500. The employer match, look at that, $22,500. And then the growth in the employer match is another $10,700. All that to build up to $99,700. So look at that. All in, total contributions, employee and employer, $67,500, and growth of a little over $30,000, making it close to $99,700. So we'll call it again, of rounding purposes, 100. Well, let's look at them side by side. Check that out. Side by side, here's the breakdown. You can see person 1 started 5 years later, and they contributed the same amount, 5%. So person 1, their contributions was 54% versus person 2, because of growth and time, was 45% of their total balance. Total growth for the first person was 12% versus the second person, 22%. This is their employee contributions. Now the employer, this changes it up as well. Look at that. $11,000 $250 for a 5-year person, and then $22,500 for the 10-year person. And then the growth on that, super different. Look at that. The growth was only $2,500 for the person who did 5 years, but then the person who did 10 years, $10,700. And this shows a great example of the difference, a combination of time and actually taking advantage of the employer contribution match. And again, this is just a 7% rate of return. I kept it real conservative to make things as even as possible. So again, time in the market, taking advantage of that employer benefit is huge. Hope you enjoyed this breakdown. More details to come in the next video. Hope you enjoyed the article review. Hey, thanks for staying to the end. This video is brought to you by the Next Chapter team. If you enjoyed the video, please drop a comment. Please also like, subscribe, and share with your friends and family. This will help the channel reach out to more people just like you. We offer one-on-one coaching where we work with everyday people to determine a clear path to achieving their financial goals. This includes things like budgeting to reduce debts, planning for big purchases, and even learning how to build wealth with the tools that you have readily available to you. If you're interested, please see our link below to schedule a free call with our team. That's right, it's a free 30-minute call with the team. Also, check out our affiliate links for high yield savings account. This is a great place for the saving up for those big purchases and your emergency fund. Thanks, and see you in the next video.